All right, number 2 is Fairy Tail.
Now, I want to see Fairy Tail.
You should.
It's gonna come. I'm probably gonna start watching it sometime by the end of the year, possibly.
By the end of what? The calendar year?
Yes.
School year?
No.
Calendar year.
This 2015.
The calendar year. Okay. Yeah. That's good. It's a great show. I fell in love with it so much more readily than I thought I would. It's just so much happening. We are probably somewhere in the 240s.
We're over 200 episodes in.
I know it's definitely over 200. It's somewhere in the 240s, I think now. As we're standing right now, there's about 240 episodes. It's such a good story. It's a great story. Like there's so much happening, and the characters are so diverse and complex and great. You have Lucy, who she's this girl from this background who just wants, like, this rich background, but she wants to prove herself as something more than just the money that she's from. She wants to be someone of her own merit. And I think she does a great job at growing, and she's still not fully grown yet. She has a lot more growth to occur. There's more to her that needs to happen, but I think as it stands right now, there was just a really big emotional growth point in the story that just happened. Like,
are you up to date?
I am completely up to date. Yes.
Okay.
So there's big moments of growth with Lucy, and I think that once she finally is able to fully unleash her powers, she's going to be one of the most powerful characters in that world. She has so much going for her, and she just needs to be able to move past what inhibits her and be good.
Is Lucy your favorite character?
I don't know. That one's going to be a hard one to answer.
There are a lot of characters in Fairy Tail.
Natsu, I think, needs to grow up. Natsu's a great character. He always has this childish optimism to any situation. He just goes in, guns blazing, and just tries to do his best. And then when that doesn't work, he just goes in and does his best again. And he just keeps going until someone dies. And it's probably the enemy. And it's great. And he cares so deeply for his friends. And he never gives up. That stick-to-itiveness. Like, in the face of thousands of failures, he will get up again and keep going. Erza has a very deep past arc that you see, and she's very caring, very reserved, but she's fun, and she's a very good character to look at and say that's how you should deal with past troubles and past problems, and you just need to look back, remember, and then fight on and keep going. And Gray also, there was just a lot of big revelations into Gray Filibuster's past, and you see a lot into him. It's a very in-depth character. I just remembered who my favorite character would be. It would not be anyone. It would be Panther Lily. Panther Lily is this little black cat creature called an X-Seed, and he works with Gajil, who is the Iron Dragon Slayer. And he's so funny. I don't know why. He's just so cute with his little green shorts and his little tattoo on his back, and he has the scar on his eye, and it's just such a great character because he's so serious. And when you first meet him, he's this big, giant, human-sized, bipedal panther-looking thing with, like, abs and, like, pecs and biceps, and he's this big, rough bodybuilder, two-legged cat man. And then when he comes back to the real world, he turns into a little cat the same size as Happy and Wendy's cat, whose name I can never figure out what it actually was. Carla, Charlulu, whatever.
Charlie?
They don't do a good job at explaining it in the dub, or I mean in the sub. They just kind of say whatever they're saying. And so he turns into this little cat, and it's just so adorable. And he has the cats in this show are really fun, and I don't like cats, but these cats, every real dragon slayer has a cat friend that follows them around, and the cats are my favorite characters in the show because they're just so fun. But
my piece is that while I haven't seen Fairy Tail, and I spent a very large, like the past 5 minutes having no clue what he was talking about, I think I can understand why, like, the things that drew him to the show, considering what one of my picks is. But we'll get to that later. Anything else to say about Fairy Tail before we get to number 1?
They have really bad choices in music. I was so annoyed. I was waiting for 20, count them, 20 opening song cycles to finally hear a good song. And I finally got one. It was by Konami Suzuki. That was a good song. It was a great song. I was so happy that I finally got a good song off of this anime. It took long enough. It was a great wait, but it was awesome. You need to check it out. It was really good. Never End Tale. Great.
You don't want it to end?
Never End Tale. It's the name of the song.
Okay.
And it's a great song.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And?
Alright. Listen carefully. You're about to hear all my credibility go away. Sorry, not sorry. My number 1 is Binan Koko Chikyu Boebu Love, Cute High Earth Defense Club, otherwise known as Magical Boys. Best show in the history of shows. Sorry, not sorry. I will not take it back. It is the best. Oh. And let me tell you, because I know
you need to explain your opinions.
By any logical measurement, this is a horrible show. Its story is monotonous and repetitive. Its writing is just bad. The
animation seems kind of derivative.
The animation is derivative. Like, everything about it just kind of sucks. But it's the best show ever, and I really have no other way of explaining it besides the fact that if you like it, it will grab you, it will captivate you, and you will not be able to let it go. And if you don't like it, you just won't like it. And it's really just as simple as that. The characters, I thought, were very well thought out, even if how they used the characters was very poorly done. I thought the music was on point. They have some great songs for this series.
Music on fleek?
This music was on fleek. It's on point. It's
Fleekosaurus Rex.
Wow. Yes, I suppose so.
I can have an embarrassing moment on this video, too.
The characters are just so fun.
Except for me, it's just one line. For him, it's his number 1 pick.
Wow. This show is just, it's so fun to watch. It was quite literally the highlight of my
week.
Spring semester. Like, it was a highlight of my week during spring semester 2015. I would get out of this class that I really didn't like on Tuesdays, and by 3 o'clock on Tuesday, it was up on the website that I was watching it on, and I would sit and watch it with one of my friends.
I mean, of course, you have a subscription and don't just watch these on free streaming sites, right?
What, are you kidding? I'm not paying for this.
Okay.
But it was up. It was great. Like, it's just such a good show. And I was so happy with how it ended that I didn't expect there to be a season 2. And
there's going to be a season 2.
I found out like a couple of days ago. Like, I literally stopped breathing. I was so excited.
It made him squee, I suppose?
No, I didn't squee. I stopped breathing.
You can't squee without breath. That's a good point.
I literally could not breathe for a good 5 minutes after I saw this. I
literally died.
I probably did. They're coming out with a season 2 for Magical Boys. And as excited as I am, if the writing was that bad when they actually had a plan, and then they ended the story, I just can't imagine what's going to happen.
Where do we go now?
Yeah, and you've seen the end. Like, where do they go from there?
I have no clue.
And they're not even going in the direction that I thought they were going to go if they were going to do more shows.
Okay.
They're going in a totally different direction, and I'm excited, but I'm also really nervous about it because I feel like they're trying to keep it up because they have this really small audience that just is all for it, man.
Which he is a proud member of.
Like, balls to the wall. They're just all for Magical Boys, and I can respect that. But don't keep it going just for the sake of those couple of people if you're not going to have a good story to go with it. I want there to be a good story. I will be ecstatic if there's a good story to go with it. And I will be watching that series very closely. I expect it to be released 1 year after the original series, so fall 2016. Winter 2016. January. For those of you that don't know, anime cycles go winter first. Winter is like January. and then they go summer, and then they go fall.
Okay, can I say my piece about Kidai Earth Defense Club Love?
If you must.
The reason why I saw this show in the first place, normally I wouldn't see this show at all, is because it's his favorite anime ever, and it's been that way for a while.
Sorry, not sorry.
My take on it is that, while I don't think it's bad, I'm not crazy about it. I feel like there are better examples of just complete, like the comedy that everything is just nuts and nothing makes sense. Shows like Is This a Zombie or Defrag. I thought for what it was good, because it was supposed to be really, really, really stupid. And it was. Considering what it is, it delivered, but I never once in my life asked for a show like this.
I didn't either, but sometimes life hands you
Sometimes
some
you
great
don't
shows.
Sometimes you don't know what you want until you get what you want.
I got it, man. It was such a good show. I'm so happy.
I think that this is certainly an odd choice for number one, but it's not my opinion. It's his opinion.
I thought it was a very good show. I'm so happy that it came around, and it was very good. And the music, again, is on point. Listen to some of the songs. And favorite character is a tie between Yufuin En and Atsui Kinugawa.
The older brother and the water guy?
No, the water guy and the air guy. The water guy because he's the water guy, and the air guy because he's green.
Okay.
I know my reasons are deep.
Do you think that there might be an English dub? Because I feel like this is one. This
is one that
would be hard to translate.
No, actually yes. One other thing that's really odd about this show is that it expects you to have a pre-knowledge of Japanese culture, which
he definitely has to a greater extent than I do.
But when I first watched it, I had no idea what oden was. So when the first episode is all about oden, which is a Japanese dish with all of these weird ingredients, and that are like specific to oden.
And
like
you don't find them.
You don't find them. You don't find them anywhere else but in oden. And so like they expect you to know what oden is, what's in oden, and how the ingredients in oden interact with each other. And then they go on to like other things. They talk about like Japanese foods, and they talk about some other stuff. And like with minimal research, you can understand what's going on. But if you go in there without having any pre-knowledge of Japan anything, you're going to be hopelessly lost for a couple of minutes until they explain it to you. So, from the first episode in, I was just like, wow, this show does not market itself very well for people who don't know what Japan is like.
It doesn't care what you think about it.
But also...
in the slightest, it does not care what anybody says or anybody thinks.
No. But also, you can justify that by saying, this show already has, like, a nice little niche that it's carved out for itself. So like,
it has a very specific
demographic,
but there's a place for it.
By day one, they already know who was going to watch it, and they expected those people to know enough about Japan to be able to enter the show with ease. So I'm not really complaining about that. I just thought it was odd. But
final thoughts.
Final thoughts about what? About Magical Boys? Love them.
Yeah. Okay.
Best show ever.
So what exactly do you look for when you think about what you love about animes? Like, is there a running theme we can see in these top 10s?
Characters and music and colors
and
hair, whatever. I mean, hair is important, obviously, but like, what I really look for besides music and just characters is like if there's any like underlying larger like real world themes, like Arslan and Magi look at government and like how we should view our government and how we should interact with our government. Kill la Kill and
Steins Gate.
To
some extent, No Game No Life.
They all have to do... No.
Really?
No, wait, but like No Game No Life is another very interesting look at government. Kill la Kill has to do with going outside of your comfort zone to achieve greatness. Fairy Tail covers a lot of things. It'll go into government.
It has time to cover a lot of ground.
It'll go into government. It'll go into destiny. It'll go into beating the odds. It'll go to a lot of different things. Binan really doesn't have one of those overarching themes, but as I've said, there's no reason to like Binan. You just love it or you don't. And I've talked to death about Free. So I think I'm done here. I think I've done a great job.
And now he has to stick around.
So now I have to stick around and listen to him. So before we leave, I hope that you guys liked what you saw, liked what you heard, and that you watch these shows.
Okay.
Because I think they're really good shows. And they're certainly so much better than the shows he has planned for you in the next video.
Wow.